100 laps at Martinsville. Green flag. The Cookout 400 is underway.
My gosh, Kevin, that was definitely inside the restart zone. I don't want to hear anything more about it.
Well, remember, Clint, the flag does start the race.
I don't care. It was in the zone. Martin Truex slid way up the racetrack. Almost got 3 wide right there.
Yeah, and that racetrack's been walked on, run on, cleaned up, and that outside groove won't be as good this first run as it typically is. And you know, if you get hung up there in the wrong position or your car's not handling good, it's tough to get down to the bottom, and sometimes you got to force yourself down to find a hole if there is one. But right now there is no hole, and the longer Joey Logano waits, the longer that line will get of cars bumper to bumper, and the harder it will be to go down.
And he's trying to get down, and all of a sudden you got Josh Berry filling that void on the inside. Oh, he got clear. I think Josh
Logano gets in line. They're in 6th.
Yeah, and that's really what stacks all these guys up. When Logano goes down low like that, he slows up the corner more than he wants to, and Josh Berry had to slow up, which in turn checks every car in lineup, which creates that accordion effect of usually bumpers hitting bumpers.
Now note how clean that concrete is in the corners. We're above 60 degrees, so the track should take rubber today.
It certainly did yesterday in practice and qualifying. Very fast, actually. A lot more than Kevin and I thought. I mean, you can already see that rubber getting laid down in 3 and 4 from here.
Well, we've had a truck race, we've had an Xfinity race, we've had practices, and like you said, Clint, that track had plenty of rubber on it yesterday, and it's going to rubber up fastest.
All right, so what does that mean? As it does that, guys, it gets very slick. First of all, you start losing the front wheels, and all of a sudden, as soon as it catches up, now you've spun the tires up off. You kind of get a push, snap loose sensation.
Double file from 14th on back here. Larson half a second up on Bubba Wallace. Calm at the front.
Not so calm at the rear.
No. Typical Martinsville.
Yeah, and that won't last long, because everything that is happening in the back of the field just stacks these guys up, and the lap times get slower and slower. And the front of the field is going to catch the back of the field before long.
That's exactly right. And you can run, but you can't hide at a track like this. There's no place to go. Maybe for 15, 20, 30 laps here, next thing you know, you're mired in traffic, and all that ground you gained on the second place car, the car behind you, has narrowed up as you're trying to navigate traffic. That's what we've been talking about. Kevin, time and time again in that pre-race show, you told me a maneuverable car. You got to have a maneuverable car so you can move around and make passes, whether that's a lap car or for position.
Yeah, and right now everybody wants to be on the bottom of the racetrack until that rubber really gets thick and the cars start to slide around on the entry and push in the middle with the front end sliding up the racetrack. You already saw Kyle Larson kind of up the racetrack right there, starting to move around a little bit to just have a good idea of how his car feels and what his best option is on the racetrack.
World's fastest conveyor belt all the way back to Carson Hocevar in 25th place. On the outside, everybody in front of him is single file logging laps, but yeah, they're still fighting for position out back here.
Well, this is a relatively short stage of only 80 laps, and so you've got to go. You don't really get a great idea of what your car's doing until you get to about lap 30, 40, 50, somewhere in there, and that's where you really start to understand